And so there have been protests going on in Minneapolis. There's been police, throwing tear gas grenades and shooting rubber bullets and things like that. Some people are speaking out against it. Ilhan Omar had a good tweet saying that it should never be tolerated, especially when kids are around. Police need to exercise restraint. And the thing is, we know that they can, because as many people have pointed out, while you can see scenes like this and this and this and this in Minneapolis, when militias were marching with guns and getting in the face of the Michigan government, and in fact causing a session of the legislature to not happen.
Yep.
Total restraint. Total restraint. It actually worked. The implied threat of violence got a government to change its behavior.
Absolutely.
And we're not even covering that they lynched the governor in effigy. Like, they hung the governor in effigy. Like, the reopen North Carolina woman, her husband is saying you should be ready to start killing people. Another guy, this Cowboys for Trump guy, who's been in the White House. I'm sure, JR, you see everything on the internet. You've seen this. Is like the only good Democrat's a dead Democrat. And so we have found the thing about this pandemic that has offended them. It's that the wrong party is dying, I guess. So they can show restraint in the face of right-wing violence. But a complete lack of violence from someone like George Floyd still results in his death.
And I've said this before, it's an indictment of our society. The reason why it continues to happen is because our society as a whole doesn't care enough. And also police officers, people in power, politicians, all they are is another member of society. So when police officers go home at night, and I know I'm making a broad generalization, so fine, I'll say this. Every police officer isn't bad. I got that out of the way. Okay, so when police officers go home at night, they take off their uniform, and all they are is another guy named Jim who sits around. Nobody sits at the dinner table, number two, who goes around, sits at home, and watches TV and eats his dinner. He's the same person that reads stuff on the internet, who posts things on the internet, who reads racist things on the internet, who maybe absorbs some racist things on the internet, who absorbs racist things from his racist friends. He grew up with a bigoted father. He grew up with a bigoted grandfather. And he has these beliefs in his head. He's just another member of society. And then when he goes into work and clocks in and puts on a uniform and a bulletproof vest and straps his gun to his waist and goes out with his partner, he's just another guy who believes the same things the rest of society tends to believe about black folks and Latinos and Asians and Jewish folks and anyone else that has been victimized by this country, is to continue to say, hey, you know what? They're the bad guys, because I've been told that so many times. Hey, I like this guy that's in the White House. He has it right. They're just another member of society, and they're given a power to carry out those beliefs on a daily basis because they said that guy was committing a crime. And after they realized the guy maybe wasn't committing a crime or maybe wasn't doing anything that was harming you, they go, well, I'm a cop in this moment, so I can kill him now.
Yeah.
No, they're not better members of society just because they have the job of being able to enforce death upon people. That doesn't make them some other kind of human that's above other humans that believes the things that they believe.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of that attitude is a carryover from decades and decades of like massive societal respect for cops when they were doing the same things. We just didn't see it on the news necessarily.
Yep.
Yeah.
The woman in Central Park that tried to call the cops on that guy that tried to get her to leash her dog, if she was a cop, she'd have pulled out tasers, she'd have pulled out guns, she'd have been like, get on the ground, I can't believe it, like, because she had this disdain and anger for him, and she also knew that America doesn't really give a damn about someone who looks like him. That's why she used it as a weapon. She goes, I'm going to call the cops. You know what I'm going to say? She didn't say, I'm going to call the cops and tell them that you're threatening me. She goes, I'm going to call the cops, and she punched her. I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening me, because she knows that works. Because the cops have told her countless times, hey, if you tell us that there's an African-American that's assaulting you and that's aggressive and that's angry, we will be there to murder. If nothing else, we'll at least be there to assault. Whoop him a little bit, and then you can feel better about yourself. That's what we've told folks to do. And then the fact we keep doing it, what's going to make them stop?
Probably not just the threat of losing your job. And let's be real. Losing your job, very briefly, let a few weeks go by, get hired by the police department 10 miles down the road. More than likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, one more.
Sure.
think it wasn't Minnesota, because I remember when I heard about the Minnesota thing, I get it confused with the other thing that happened in New Hampshire or Connecticut. Some man got snatched out of his car by two officers who decided to break out the window and said he stole it because
I don't remember.
Hey, there's a black guy. Hey, he's in a car. Let's pull him out. Again, all I'm saying is if it wasn't for a video, we wouldn't have seen that one either.
Yeah.
But it happens every day. And then when someone comes out and it has a position of influence, says, hey, black folks are getting hunted every day, and then people push back and say, how dare you have so much hyperbole? We need to show you a video every day for you to believe that black folks are hunted every day in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
And so then we have to take that emotional damage of proving something to you. No, you're not worth me proving anything to you anymore. You're not worth me showing you death so that you can still not believe it the next time it happens.
Yeah.
No.
Or try to prove it, because like the Ahmaud Arbery video, you know, what percentage of the American public looks at that and thinks, yeah, no, they had to do that.
Yep.
What could be on a video that would get through to some of these people? Nothing.
Nope.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.